All right, I want to address a real quick question that I get all the time, and specifically the question is a Udacity Nanodegree worth it? And I'll answer specifically for Udacity Nanodegrees, but my way of thinking about this is different than just thinking about a Udacity Nanodegree. And so when people ask me this question about online credentials, are they worth it? Why would I go spend $49 for this verified certificate or $200 for this certificate or whatnot? And so I almost always give the same answer to this question. Now, some are more worth it than others, but I'm going to talk about why I think not only are they worth it, but they are a steal. It's an amazing opportunity we have today where you can have access to literally world-class education at your fingertips for the relatively tiny, very small investment that it is. If you look at what it costs to attend a 4-year university, or the cost of these boot camps and these other options that are literally tens of thousands of dollars, this online education, whether it be for $49, a few $100s, even some of these really high-end ones that I call it can be $1,000 or $2,000. I'm going to tell you about why it's absolutely, in my opinion, 100% worth it. Okay, so the first thing is we live in a different world today. We live in a world where lifelong learning is no longer optional. And so let me tell you what I mean by that. We used to live in a world where you went to school, whether it was just high school or whether you got a degree in college, but then you were done. And what I mean by that is you enter into a job, a career, and your education, of course you get some on-job experience, but people tend to stay in a career for a long period of time, and the amount of continuing education did not exceed all that much. We no longer live in that world. There's a good chance that if you're watching this video, you're going to have multiple jobs, numerous careers even, and part of that's due to a culture thing, but a lot of it's due to the pace of change today. And so that's what I talk about. The pace of change is ever accelerating today. Literally what I learned 18 months ago is now obsolete. And if you're not a lifelong learner, if you're not continuously learning, you're falling behind. And so when you ask yourself, how will someone be a continuous learner today? Does it make sense to be going to a university your entire life, to be spending tens of thousands of dollars every year? But we actually have these resources like the Udacity Nanodegree, where you can get world-class, up-to-date education. And so that's the first part, lifelong learning. The second thing is, and it really goes hand in hand with this, is skill gaps, skill shortages. And so what this pace of change has done, I can't talk and write at the same time, so skill gaps, shortages. So what the pace of change has done is caused more and more skill gaps and shortages, whether it be things like engineering, data science, machine learning. These areas are just going to continue to expand and expand and expand. The gaps in these areas are going to continue to grow, shortages in these jobs are going to continue to grow. And so how are companies going to fill in these gaps? And I don't believe the answer is going to be recruiting all these people from a university. Will universities, adapt their curriculum to help fill these skill gaps and skill shortages? I sure hope so. I have a different opinion on probably the future of higher education, which we will save for another video. But what are companies going to do? Well, one, they're gonna train their current employee base to try and fill these skill gaps and shortages. But there's a good chance that a lot of companies aren't going to be able to fill all the shortages internally. So where are they going to go? They're going to go externally. They're going to go to places like Udacity's Nanodegree graduates and hire them. They're going to go to places like Coursera and see who has completed their specializations. They're going to go to places like edX and see, here's an X Series credential or a MicroMasters or a professional certificate. There's all these new kinds of alternative credentials is what I call them, these online alternative credentials. And right now, as of the making of this video, they carry some weight with employers, depending what you got in them. But my opinion and my point of view is that this is going to continue to these alternative credentials are going to continue to carry more and more and more weight. And it's going to be because these are the way that people are going to fill skill gaps and skill shortages. So is it worth it? I say 100% absolutely. The people that are starting to build what I call their e-portfolio of online education, which has these verified certificates, these verified alternative credentials like the Nano degree, and they can showcase these certificates along with the projects that come along with them, this is going to carry a ton of weight with employers. So to spend a couple $100s for a Nano degree, is it worth it? I say absolutely. Is it worth it to pay for that $49 verified certificate? Yes, I say absolutely. That's a steal of a bargain, especially because you put in the work and you completed the course and you did the projects. You might as well get credit for it, quote unquote, in addition to the knowledge that you gain from it. So that's my quick view of online credentials. I will talk much more about, and I actually have a blog post coming out soon. I'll link to it below if you're watching this video after I'd already published it, that kind of navigates the sea of online credentials currently. So this sea is going to be continuing to evolve and evolve. But right now we have 3 really big players in the market, Udacity Nanodegree being one of them, Coursera and their certificates. They have 4 different certificates currently. I'll link to that video below because I did a video on those 4 certificates. And edX, those are the 3 big ones right now. But there's more and more coming. There's that are already out there too, like Future Learn, Udemy. They need to work on their credentialing. But I'm going to get into more and more of those and the different kinds of credentials and maybe the ones that I would recommend currently. But so as far as is it worth it? I say absolutely. Thank you so much for watching. Look forward to seeing you in the next video. All right, bye-bye.